Hello, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is part of an ongoing anthology series of games that I call Star Wars Saturdays. Every Saturday for 2 years, I have been gathering together with awesome folks and friends from the Gauntlet community, which is an online community of tabletop role-playing game aficionados and fanatics, where we play indie, small press, and OSR RPGs together. And so every month, I throw out the game idea. It's a different RPG every month. Sometimes I'll split a month in half and do 2 and 2 sessions. And on Saturdays, we'll be running that game. Folks will form up, create characters, and we'll tell a story that exists within the Star Wars universe. This one's a little weird. So there's this game called Hearts of Wulin that last year was kickstarted. It came from the fertile mind of Lowell Francis with some heavy support from Sherry Stewart, his wife. And it is a wuxia romance action style game that is powered by the apocalypse. It's great. I love it. I'm a big fan of Hong Kong action cinema. I haven't seen any of the soap opera drama, so I don't really have that as a touchstone. But I wanted to, mostly because I was talked into it by at least one of the people here, take Hearts of Wulin and just kind of shave off some edges and just put it in Star Wars. So the frame within this anthology has always been along the timeline of the original trilogy of movies. And then this year, we've been just past Return of the Jedi, existing in a space that is post-Return of the Jedi. Palpatine's dead. Maybe not quite to Mandalorian timelines. We're existing in that fall of the Empire phase, and it's been some really fun games. This one, because I'm weird and my friends here are okay with me being a little weird, is the high concept of Hearts of the Force, which is a Wulin style Jedi centric action romance. Except none of this is going to be canon. It is a holoNET, which is the virtual channel entertainment thing, expanded universe. There's like holoNET shows, etc., etc. It's a holoNET series of movies. There will be 5 of them. 5. It's a whole series about these amazing Jedi sometime in the loose High Republic, except that it's not terribly well researched, which means that we can play with the canon however we want. We can have as much EU as we want or as little as EU as we want. We're going to tell our own story using Star Wars influences set in Star Wars. It is going to be a PG-13, mostly due to violence style game, where it is high action, high romance, but there are some particular aspects of Hearts of Wulin that we are bringing forward. In particular, are the agendas of embracing sincerity, speaking obliquely about the heart, playing with everyone's entanglements, and acting in the service of something greater, right? The Force. And the official, semi-official pitch within our canon, within Star Wars, is that Princess Leia Organa, while her brother is setting up a Jedi Academy, decides, hey, we should probably try to let's do a puff piece, right? Let's do a thing about the Jedi. And so she sends some New Republic credits off to Aderlon, which is this planet in the Minos Cluster, and they threw together this not terribly well-researched romantic action movie series that was put out on the holoNET to try to get everyone to have warm feelings about the Jedi and how exciting and awesome they are. That's the long-winded version of it. I don't think I could add more words. Let's talk about safety tools, and then we're going to introduce our characters, work out their entanglements, then we'll take a break, and when we come back from our break, we'll launch into the first movie, which is I'm not even sure what this movie is about yet. We'll figure it out together. we have safety tools of lines and veils as well as the X card. We have lines, which means that we're not interested in this content. If it's introduced, we need to excise it immediately. It's just not a storyline that we're interested in. Sexual assault, violence, or coercion, gone. Harm to children, line on it. Veils, which means that if this happens, we quickly do like a Lucas style scene wipe, screen wipe, fade to black. And that is on slavery, torture, and sexual content, meaning if two characters are actually going to legit hook up, we fade to black very quickly on that. Those are our lines and veils. That may change. I will review them beginning of every session because between the weeks, people's attitudes may change. I actually saw someone who put pandemic as a line. Like they just didn't want to deal with that. And I'm like, hey, I totally respect that. That's cool with me. So we always have the write-ins because you never know what folks might say, you know what, I need safety here. Let's just declare it out in the front so we don't have to experience it and then roll it back. So now we can't cover everything in these lines and veils. Sometimes we may not even realize that there's a thing going to bother us. And so that's why we have on top of that this new layer, or second layer, or X card. The X card is this brilliant little tool where all you have to do is say, hey, I need to X card so-and-so thing. Called an X card because it was originally developed at a physical table and there was a card in the middle of the table and you tap the X card. And I loved it because it was a nice nonverbal tool. And if you want to keep it nonverbal and notify me in the chat on Zoom, or we have a roll for your party and there's an X card there, or if you have an awesome X card that you want to flip up and show me, that's totally cool. We're going to pause for a moment. If it's not immediately clear, I'm going to check in with what is being X carded. I promise you, friends, I am not going to try to talk you out of it. I'm not going to argue it because that's stupid, right? I'm not going to litigate what made you feel uncomfortable for any moment or is just a thing you don't want to deal with. We excise it from our play and we move on. It's never been an impediment to a good game. And I love it because it gives us just the comfort level. Even if it's never used, it gives us the ability to know we can trust each other. And if something happens, we care more about you than the story that we're telling. So that's my giganto preamble. Now, you get to know a few of our wonderful Jedi, stars of this holoNET drama series. And so I think we're going to bring in our returning guest, everyone who's been watching Star Wars Saturdays over the 2+ years has definitely seen a flavor of this particular character, at least the actress. So Joe, introduce yourself and then tell us about your character. And of course, make sure we know about that actor.
I'm Joe, they, them. I'm playing the character of Calissa Nile, as portrayed by the actress Janella Jantek, my recurring Zeltron Jack of many trades. Jill of many trades.
So many trades. All the trades from like bounty
she's
hunter
she's
to
Zeltron.
Like, just everything.
Yeah. On the show, she's playing a Zeltron lightsaber master, not a Jedi. She refused to be called a Jedi. She's like a Ronin that wanders and travels people in their schools. That's the idea I see for it. But like, more good than bad, not Sith, clearly. Both people are dumb. Both sides are dumb.
All right. Then let's swing up to talk to Steven. Please introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
Hi, my name's Steven, and I use the he, him pronouns. Today I'm playing Abessa Dara, who uses the she, her pronouns. Adessa is human, long black hair, burning eyes, and she is a trainee of the Sentinel Order that was sent off to gain practical experience in the world.
Nice. A neophyte. I love it. That's great. The student. Next, we will go with Greg. Please introduce yourself. Tell us about your Jedi.
I am Greg Gelder, he, him pronouns for me, and I am playing Gurui. We'll decide on a pronunciation at some point. Gurwi is also he, him. He is a Wookiee Jedi and a Jedi. Okay, so I know there's a lot of ambiguity here in these, but Gurwi is certainly a Jedi and a member of the Blue Alderaan cult, who hear the voices of long gone Alderaan, and he fights with an excellent dual-bladed lightsaber that is blue because he is a Jedi and he is good. And he's definitely revealing a secret because I picked the unorthodox, and we'll figure out what that is eventually.
Delightful. Thank you, Greg. And last but certainly not least, our special guest for the series, Sabine.
I am Sabine. I use any pronouns. I am going to play Garland Dahl, who is a Jedi from, weirdly enough, a Jedi family. Why ever Jedi have family? They shouldn't have, but they do. And well, Garland at least is an outsider. He is a wanderer. He was trained and raised, of course, by the Jedi Order, and his old master is actually part of the Jedi Council, but he has decided to go off by himself. Founded the Order of the Followers of the Purgil, which are these weird space whales who can go into hyperspace. So yeah, these guys. So he's the co-founder or something of that faction, I imagine, and he is mostly running around the galaxy trying to see weird stuff and do some good, I guess, if he has to. I mean, no, if not, of course he has to. He's a Jedi. He has pale-blue lightsabers, and he fights in a style that he's called Thousand Butterflies. He is, of course, this is not a traditional style. It's a mixture of several styles at once that he has created by and for himself because he likes to have a butterfly style. He likes butterflies and purgils. And anyway, nature as a whole, I guess he's that kind of guy. Oh, and also he is being portrayed. I have to say this, he's being portrayed by Silas Emur, who is Ratataki. He has shown up at the set and said, I will play one of your Jedi. I don't think the Jedi were a useful way to be a Force user, but I will do that because the Force wills it. And then people said, okay, we need a Jedi and he can wear a hood and we can disguise him as a human and that should be okay. Kind of, yeah.
Okay, that is delightful and messy and interesting. That's great. Good. So we know all of our principal cast. We have our loyal, our unorthodox, our student, and our outsider. Now we need to develop entanglements. So each of the Hearts of Wulin, aka Hearts of the Force characters, have 2 entanglements to start. These entanglements are important for developing your connection to your story and other characters, PC and otherwise. It's also how you'll develop bonds, which can help you make some rolls. So let's just circle back around. We will start with Kalisa. Is that what we're saying?
I believe so.
If I accidentally say Khaleesi, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Kalisa Nile. So you've got a few entanglements to hand out.
Yep. So my romantic one, I've gone with I cannot choose between Abisa and Giza.
Okay, and Giza is who?
She's the Twi'lek in the Sith column.
All right, good. So in our NPCs and places, we have a number of NPCs that are just thrown in there, and there are a pair of Sith from the 9 Raven Rings faction who are named Koth, who is a Zabrek, and Giza, who is a Twi'lek. And that is an interesting entanglement.
Yeah, you gotta have romantic problems with quote unquote evil people.
I mean, right?
Villains, I should say. Antagonists.
Lovely. And then what is your general entanglement?
A general is I swore to Buma that I would protect Garland, but they would be offended if they knew. Buma is a Maraluka that I added into the NPCs.
Oh, nice.
Row 10.
That is really cool. Now, do you imagine that Booma is a member of a faction?
Yeah, we'll go with the Blue Alderaan cult.
All right. It's like the Blue Oyster Cult, but just a little different, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it's like? Did I
Less-
did I ding you on that one, Greg? Did I call it? Or am I
Yes,
making...
yeah, you called me on that. I did not. I didn't think of that.
I love it.
Less good music.
Okay. Are you saying the Blue Oyster Cult had good music?
No,
or
I'm saying they have better music than the Blue Alderaan cult.
Okay, fair enough. I'm with you now. Good, and I agree. Good. Okay, so we've got Booma. I feel like Booma should be moved up then. That's just PCs. I'll probably out for one of these. I'll work
That's
on that
later
a little
work.
bit. Exactly. All right. Thank you so much for giving us these two entanglements. You get a bond with one of the romantic entanglements, and you get a bond with one of the general entanglements.
Let's see. Go with Abisa. Let's just do the players. It's always
Good call. It's
easier
always,
to work with the players.
always beneficial. Cool. And is Garland aware that you've sworn to Booma you would protect?
No, they would be offended if they knew.
Nice. Nice. That is delightful. So now we'll jump over to Abesadara. Is it Dara or Dara?
Probably Dara. Yeah.
Cool. That feels very Star Warsy to me. Abesadara. That's like,
Yeah.
I totally want that action figure. All right, rock on. Let's do some romantic and general.
Well, since Kalissa Nile can't choose between Abessa and Giza, I'm going to say I've discovered that my peer, Kalisa, has been learning techniques from Giza, a master of an enemy Sith.
Oh, so like there's a romantic thing. Is there a romantic thing about learning techniques, or did it start there? Or, oh, that's
Or maybe
interesting.
I see. Are you okay with that, Joe?
Oh yeah, no, totally.
I think I totally see like Kalisa is spending a lot of time with Giza or has snuck off to see Giza. Could be that they're just training. It could be that there's something romantic there. Who knows?
Good.
Yeah.
This is good. Good. Feel it. Let the hate flow.
The other one that I put down is I humiliated myself in front of Ethan Nord, who's on the NPC faction thing, who I desire his respect. And Gururi will let no one forget it.
Oh, are you okay with that, our fine Wookiee friend?
Okay, great.
No one forget. Okay, so let's put a little context around that. How did you embarrass yourself in front of this Zabrak who lost his arm and has chosen not to have it replaced by cybernetics?
I think I was overcome with emotion in front of him. I think that there was something that happened, like we were sent on a mission. I see him as kind of a leader, and I think it's one of those things that you see, in the commercial leading up to the show, and you see Abessa like crying, and Ethan's like kind of shaking his head, and it's just a small little clip, but you don't see that in the show, right? It's been cut out. But I think Gari always says, "Oh, crybaby."
Oh man, so you just lost you lost control of the will of the Force. That is good. Nice. And it's romantic entanglement. We'll see where that goes. All right. Gurui. And who are you taking bonds with? Sorry to jump back to Abessa. With whom are you taking bonds?
I took them with the PC, so it's Guri and Kalisa.
Awesome. Now, Gurui, what's your romantic and general entanglement?
Still working a little bit. My romantic is I love Ethan Nord, but I have sworn revenge against their family member. So my question is, does one of the player characters want to be a family member of Ethan Nord?
I mean, I could
mean,
be. I would have to change
well,
my
yeah,
romantic
but
entanglement.
you
but
would have to change yours.
Actually,
but I can do that. I'm fine
well,
with
rather
that.
than that, could we just change the word family member? So
Yeah,
it's like,
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
absolutely.
The source entanglements is very like the HK drama and Korean drama, all that stuff,
yeah.
very
Mhm.
family oriented. And here with different species, it gets a little weird. So yeah,
So
what do you think?
with
We can
that,
stick
well,
something
that
else
would be better. I think Garland is definitely who I want to put here. So, what is that relationship then?
I guess I'm my own romantic entanglement. I've disguised myself to get close to Abessa, but East and North, their lover is falling for me. I mean, he's not precisely their lover, but it's kind of, I don't know, what is the relationship between Abessa and East and North?
Is Ethan Nord Abessa's master then?
yeah,
I
that's
mean, you're a
okay.
student, right? So you're a Padawan. So let's do
Yeah.
that. I like that.
So that's cool. So I think Ethan and Garland are at this point. I mean, I think Ethan believes that Garland is a fellow student of the master they both had, or something like that. He is kind of under the impression that Garland is of the same faction of the Fennel Sentinels, and the brother in arms and things like that. And Garland is now trying to extricate himself from the whole mess because he really wanted to get close to Abessa. And what is this Ethan North? I would want to say North all the time. I'm sorry. That's
Do we want to give him a different last name? It's okay. If we want to change that last name.
If you don't mind my my mangling the name, I mean, I'm fine with that. But
I don't mind it. I just want to offer
the-
you that if you're like, I really would rather have an
the
easier
problem
name.
is that Nord is the German word for north, and
Ah.
my brain wants to translate it all the time. So now
Let me grab
let's
another
go with it.
last
I
name.
like it. I like it.
Okay. I like it too, but I'm okay
Drop
with
the
changing.
D.
Do you want to go with Nor? Just Nor? Will that be easier?
Yeah, that would be
All right.
easier.
Done.
Also-
Everybody change your entanglements.
Yep.
Thank you.
So I
Equally
love
Star
Ethan
Warsy.
Nor, but I have sworn revenge against their friend Garland. Does
Mhm.
friend work? Okay.
Friend works.
And then my general,
Why
here's
have
the
you
fun
sworn
one.
revenge against me?
My master Giza.
Oh.
The Sith Giza has secretly trained me as part of a revenge plot against my friend Kalisa.
Oh my goodness. So we're getting a lot of heat here with Ethan Nor and Giza. Those two pretty hot characters there. No one has any connections to Koth.
So I guess
Yeah,
I think
okay.
for bonds, I'm going to take I'll take Garland and actually for the general I am going to take Giza. They are my master.
Wow. So you're part of the Blue Aldron cult, but your
I was trained by a
is...
Sith master.
Oh my goodness, this sounds dishy. Wow. All right, fantastic. Thank you so much. And last, certainly not least, we will speak about Garland Doll.
Yeah, I've chosen, well, we've talked about this. I've disguised myself to get close to Abessa, but Ethan Nor, their master, is falling for me. Yay. And also, I swore to Ori and Korra that I would protect Kalisa, but they would be offended if they knew. So that's that. The Ori and Korra is I've changed my master's name, but for that old Jedi Codger, I guess.
Sweet. All right. Vashni's getting moved down in the NPC tab, so Orion's back up there. And so you swore to Ori and Korra. Is Ori and Korra your master? Is that what you just said? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, Ori and Korra is my master. I mean, I've not been usually in contact with him, but I guess he was like, oh, well, this Kalisa, the Force wills it. Go, protect her. Go. The Force wills it. Maybe he wanted to get rid of me because I was telling him about my disguises and stuff like that, and he didn't think my Java disguise was all that convincing. But I don't know.
Is Orion from the same faction as you?
No, he's from the Jedi Council. He's a master he's one of the Jedi Council members. That's his faction.
Okay. That is awesome. We will add that as a Jedi Council as a faction then.
I mean, we can't we can't say that they are. I mean, we are a propaganda piece basically, so they have to be kind of nice, right?
Yeah, Jedi Council are good guys, except Ethan. Yeah, sorry, just swapped
Ethan isn't part. Ethan is of what is he? Sentinel faction, right? Or Sentinel? How do you pronounce that?
Yeah, the Jedi Council, or is he part of the Sentinels? Since he's the master, let's make sure that. So Abessa, are you saying that there are Jedi Sentinels? Is that the faction that Abessa is training into?
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Then we'll just add him as a part of that. That sounds good.
And it's a good thing this is kind of a fake holonovel because I don't know much about Jedi Sentinels, so
I don't either.
We're gonna make it all up.
It's gonna be great.
Their lightsabers are yellow, and this is important.
You're not wrong. It's totally important.
Why is that important?
Because Rey has a yellow lightsaber. That's
right.
That's the
only
reason.
Yeah, Rey had a yellow lightsaber, and that made it important.
Thought it was just because they had different kyber crystals, but okay, I have no idea.
Oh, but
you are right.
You. So I don't want to derail things, but Rich, did you go to the Star Wars World thing in Florida whenever you were there?
I did not.
I had some friends
who went.
It was
not open when I left.
I had some friends who went, and they basically said, when you get your lightsaber, you attune to the crystal, and the crystal picks you, and that kind of stuff. So yeah.
That's great. Oh goodness. All right.
It's very, very expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably like $80, I would guess.
It's at least triple digits. I know that much.
Oh wow, really? Wow.
And then you get your own lightsaber.
Yeah, and it's like crazy fancy, but
good.
Okay.
All right, so
crazy expensive.
Is the master of Gurwi. And
$200 plus tax.
It's just $200. Come on, who doesn't have $200 to throw at a fake laser sword? Yeah, I don't either.
On top of the cost of going there.
Right. Sweet. So, with whom are you taking? It looks like you took bonds with Abessa and Kalisa. That sounds good. Star Dancers is great.
She's the only member.
The sole member of the Stars. You just made up that is awesome. Okay.
See, the followers of the Purga, we at least have 5 members.
For my own faction.
Yeah, well, that's my own faction as well. So, but I've got people roped in, mostly by playing Sabak with them. But
that's pretty great. All right, we have worked out our entanglements. We have settled out our characters, introduced them, got our bonds settled out. Does anyone have... Oh, it looks like the move names didn't come over for Gurwi. They just say move 1, move 2. So
that's my bad. I can fix that.
It's no biggie. But I did want to just check in on that. So does anyone have start of session things? We've got a once per session here. I don't see any start of session, but I want to make sure I don't miss it. I think we do. Okay, cool. All right, let's take a break. It is 7 minutes after. We'll take 10-minute break and meet at 17 after, and we'll jump straight into some Star Warsy romantic drama action. See you guys in a bit.
Has any of you watched the latest Clone Wars episode?
I'm very far behind in my Clone Wars. I thought I'll take advantage of all this to catch up, and then it was like, no, I've been busy with work, so maybe.
Yeah, but the latest arc it's amazing. I was actually very anxious for the 11th episode. Like, oh my gosh, my heart will break, and it did. It did. It's very good. It's very emotional.
A buddy of mine posted that he was like, they should just turn all the Star Wars stuff over to Dave Filoni. I think he's doing it. Yeah. Because he's been able to tie everything together, and it's so good. So yeah.
Yes. I mean, you and in this 11th episode, you have actually, apart from the Revenge of the Sith movie in there, like you have there is a scene in Revenge of the Sith, and when it ends, then it goes over to this Clone Wars episode, and it's amazing. It's really like, oh my gosh, yes, that and it fits. It fits very well.
Yeah, Dave Filoni is good at Star Wars.
Yeah.
Surprising. That's why, like, somebody, I forget how long ago it was like, hey, this guy in Return of the Jedi that kind of looks like Rex, and Dave Filoni's like, that is Rex. That's right. He was in the Battle of Endor. I'm like, okay, Dave Filoni.
Yeah, well, it's kind of amazing, but it was Rex, so
he's like,
sure.
Yep, nope. I saw that actor, and then like that's what Rex is gonna end up being, because he loves Rex and Ahsoka so much, rightfully so.
Yeah. Did you see the latest episode, Joe?
Yeah, I watched it before this.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know. Like, I'm like, I was either gonna wait to watch it and the last one on Monday during my lunch break, but I'm like, I don't know, I got time.
No, I couldn't wait.
That might be a double length. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I had Friday. Friday was a holiday over here, so I could watch it 3 times actually. Yeah.
You're muted, Rich. Are you talking to us, Rich? Because you're muted.
Was the holiday May Day, or is there some other? Oh,
yeah,
cool.
It was Labor Day. Actually, on Labor Day we don't have to work. For that makes total sense, because it's a day for the laborers. So it's
you can call it anything you want if it gives you a day off, right?
That's true. That's very true. Yes. In Berlin, they made Women's Day a holiday. Actually,
Just in the city of Berlin?
Yes, it's a state. Berlin is a city-state, so that state had decided we don't have enough holidays. We need more holidays, so we make Women's Day a holiday. That's fair, I guess.
I did not realize that Berlin was a city-state.
Yeah, we have 3 city-states and 13 normal countries.
What are the other 2?
Hamburg and Bremen.
Hamburg and what?
Bremen. Type in the chat. Yeah, it's city-state. That's from the old Hansa stuff that was a trade alliance, basically.
Neat. Okay. Oh, it looks like some of the lines didn't. There we go. I had to make that a little bigger. Okay, friends, here we go. We are going to jump into Hearts of the Force. Now, Hearts of the Force, of course, it like starts off. There's no such thing as like Star Wars in Star Wars, right? While in Solo movie, the Imperial March was played during a commercial for the Empire. That's the only canon puncturing that took place in the movies that I'm aware of. So it starts off in the Star Wars font. We see Hearts of the Force, and it comes up as yellow on a starry black background. And then there's this like long crawl that happens, but the music is more like the romantic wuxia styles. There's lots of string music with this flute that kind of dances in between, and it tells the story of some of the entanglements here. It mentions Ethan Nor, Zabrak, Jedi Master, and Jedi Master's all in caps. he has a new Padawan, Abessa Dara, who is training to become a Jedi Sentinel, but that the Jedi temples are at war against the Sith, and the Sith is like capitalized, led by the brother sister pair of Koth and Giza, under the tutelage of Darth Sombra. And the 9 Raven Rings faction have dealt a heavy blow to the Jedi Sentinels in a recent attack, taking Ethan Nor's arm and Liadra Denon's leg. And the Jedi Temple now has been plotting how they will respond against their Sith enemies, the evil dark side members. The crawl goes off on and on and on, and kind of dissipates, and the camera slides in, and we see Coruscant, the capital, the jewel of the galaxy. And then there's this little bit that says the times of the High Republic. And we slide in on the 4 spires that indicate the Jedi Temple. And anyone who's seen Coruscant knows what this means. It's like an easy backdrop to like indicate, hey, we're doing Jedi stuff. We slide in and see that there is a quick walk and talk between Ethan Nor, so we get to see our fine, dignified, handsome yellow lightsaber. I don't know what that means, but it means something, guys. Yellow lightsaber wielding Zabrak as he is walking beside Liadra Denon, the angry-faced Jedi Sentinel. There's a very obvious sound effects for the clunk of her cybernetic right leg as she walks beside Ethan Nor, and she even has this like gait where perhaps the cybernetic leg, like she's overemphasizing it a little bit to throw in a bit more of the differences between the two of them. And they talk in Ethan in this calm voice about, yes, I understand a response is important, but we must be wise. We must follow the Force. And Liadra Denon says, we must take our vengeance. They have struck us a blow that must be answered. And Ethan Nor and Liadra Denon walk through this huge marble floor hallway with all these like Jedi. They've all been CGI'd in, and we see that there are a few that are out of like time and a little anachronistic, and they come to a courtyard where we see several members of our starring cast here. So of course we would see the student of our master Ethan Nor, Abessa Dara. What is the first action that we see of Abessa as we have this establishing shot for the character?
I think she's actually sitting there working on a droid, and it's like a droid arm, and she's kind of doing something. We see the sparks fly, and we see the arm kind of twitch and reach out, and then she adjusts it a little bit better.
Nice. And of course we see our Jedi who has disguised himself to get close to Abessa. So we will see Garland Dahl here. What do we see him as Abessa's working on a droid right now? What is Garland doing?
He is, I think, a bit in the shadows. He's wearing whatever the Sentinels are wearing. I imagine the traditional, more or less traditional Jedi robes, but I think they have these white hoods, right? So he wears one of these. He looks like one of these Sentinels, but you can't somehow tell that he's not, just maybe because how the shot is framed and how he's in the shadow, and the overlying music has a different tone. And he's watching Abessa, and as you can see, as he's pretty absorbed in watching Abessa, actually, just repairing the droid. And I think but he's not moving to help or anything. He's just looking at her and kind of enjoying that. And then the camera pans away and goes over, and you can see Ethan Nord looking down at this guy who stands in the shadow, and he's trying to pierce whatever the disguise or the mystery here is. He senses there's something off, but he's also, you can see that he's not just suspicious. There's something more going on here.
Nice. Cool. But you're short for a stormtrooper, so if we decide to have a moment where that mask could be pierced, we will hit that roll. But I like that we've led that in. Ethan Nord, maybe a quirk of the finely manicured brow, right? So he's Zabrak, so he doesn't have an eyebrow. He just has the brow ridge.
Well, he has this. He has somebody has either CGI'd or just make up an eyebrow onto his face because he's supposed to be human, right? Have eyebrows.
Oh, sorry. I was talking about
so Ethan. Right,
Ethan is Zabrak, but yeah, you're posing as a human. So Garland has, yes, you have like little stippled on eyebrows, and that's great. So we should certainly have that amazing bit of makeup effects. So let's see. Next, we would see Gerwie, right? Our Wookiee. What did we see Gerwie doing as the two Jedi Sentinels enter this courtyard?
I think Gerwie is sort of looking out over the skyline of Coruscant. And when Ethan Nord enters, my apologies if you hear that dog in the background. Okay.
Well, now I will, but I didn't before.
But I think when Ethan Nord enters, I think Gerwie is going to take this opportunity to once again humiliate Abessa. And I think maybe manipulate the Force a little bit to have the droid arm, whatever she's trying to do to the droid arm, is going to short circuit and shock her.
Oh, that's mean. I adore this. So I don't know. Let's see. Do you have a particular move that you're trying to engage, or shall we?
No, not really. I'm just trying to.
That is awesome. Let's figure that out then. So as we look at the basic and other moves, I don't feel like we're hitting any of the other moves at all, but our basic moves is possible. Don't think it's a hearts and minds. Perhaps you are trying to do something under pressure, right? Because you don't want to be seen pulling this off. But you're trying to make her look bad. So let's see if you can.
Am I acting to impress others?
Well, that's I considered that as well. I think. Let's look at our move results.
Because okay, so I'm trying to convince Ethan Nord to discount Abessa as a worthy Padawan.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's try for impress.
Yeah,
I think the results are going to be something we'll negotiate with us.
Do any of your playbook moves count?
No, I took the most Wookiee moves possible. Okay. I have Prodigy, which allows me to push really hard if I'm about to fail. Approaching Storm, which lets me keep fighting even when I've marked all of my things, and Crash of Fate, which lets me just break stuff.
Look, that's the one I could see making sense, though.
Oh, that's true. When you try to break something that can be broken.
Ooh, nice eye. Good one for that. Let's do it. All right, you need to roll. So you need to pick one of your style elements. Now, traditionally in Hearts of Wulin, they're earth, fire, metal, water, and wood. We've renamed them, thanks to the helpful suggestion from Dave Walker: Coaxium, Kyber, Beskar, Force, and Carbonite. So what do you think?
I think this is Beskar. I'm trying to
control calculation.
This is a
reflection.
calculation. This is a machination of, I'm trying to make Abessa be an unworthy Padawan.
That sounds delightful. Very
And
first roll. For the next
are
4
we
sessions, you're
using-
not a Padawan anymore. You're not even a student. Well, that's crazy.
Are we using the nearly hopeful Airedale?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. Just
Is that
double-checking.
linked anywhere? Do we have any other roll for your parties linked? I thought I cleared everything out, but
It's linked in the base moves.
yep, and it's also linked in the other moves. Sorry, sometimes I've when I clear stuff out, I miss something, so I'd rather double check than not. Cool.
Right, I'm gonna roll these 2 plus 2. That's an 8. So
All right. By looking at that particular move, what happens on a 7 to 9?
you simply break it, or you may take the 10 plus result by marking element.
And 10 plus, you do so spectacularly with impressive control.
Oh yeah, I'm marking my control. I mean, why not?
You're marking control and do it with control. Love it. So you
So
mark
yeah,
your
the
best guy.
droid arm like flips out and slaps Abessa in the face just as
Oh.
Ethan is about to say like my Padawan, and then
Yes, yeah, that's awesome. It says,
Can we also say that like what literally happens is I'm working on it, there's some sparks that fly, and then parts of it fly off, right? It's actually
Right.
disintegrating and it slaps me in the face. And I'm like, oh.
yes. So I think that Leandra will. She looks over. Normally, she's angry, and she sees you get slapped in the face by the droid arm, and she smirks for a little bit. But Ethan is impassive, right? He is the perfect Jedi Master, at least as far as we've introduced for this few moments. He says, "Abessa, you may put the droid aside. Please attend me."
And Abessa gets up and steps behind him.
He says, "Very good, young Padawan. I appreciate that you are working on this droid, but I think that perhaps it is time for lightsaber practice."
And she, reaches to her waist and pulls out her lightsabers.
Nice. So she uses twin lightsabers. Very cool. And are they yellow like her masters, or are they a different color?
They are yellow, and they can be joined together at the base.
Ooh. Delightful.
That's
Sweet.
just because all the pictures I could find were double-bladed yellow lightsabers. So, yeah.
There you go. That sounds awesome. Made for convenience and turns out to be story worthy. And I think what he looks, you have the lightsabers out and ready, and Ethan Nor scans the courtyard. And this courtyard, it has like Duracrete kind of places where you can sit, but it's really the lip for this huge kind of floral garden near the end. There are these small trees. It looks very not like you're on Coruscant, but that's because the courtyard is very nice, not because it was shot in a different lot. Guys, seriously. And I think that he looks to Garland. So there was a thing in chat about the Sentinels sometimes wore masks. I don't think Garland's wearing a mask though, because we want, yeah,
He wears a hood.
only if we need a stunt double. But for now, we need to see his handsome face. So he looks over
Okay.
and he says, "Brother Jedi, if you could," and then
Oh.
he indicates for you to spar
Okay.
with Garland Dahl, or for Garland Dahl to spar with Abessa Dara.
I'd be honored.
Sweet. And then we hear, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Hero, but there's a scene in Hero with this kind of mental combat that takes place, but there's a biwa that's played. And so we hear just a little string of biwa music that comes up, and it's a hint of water as it starts to rain just a little bit. And as we see the two of you start to face off, that is when we see Kalisa is observing, right? Because Garland is about to go into battle. So where is Kalisa in this scene observing poor Garland before he goes in to face
Um,
your possible lover. I mean, you can't choose between Abessa and Giza, so
no, it's very hard. But they're just sparring, so I'm like, okay. Like I see her, like she's just sitting off to the side sipping space tea. Like
come on, blue milk. Come on, blue milk.
Yeah, no, it's got to be, the steam has to be
All
rising.
right, no, I get you. Yeah, that's
so
good.
like, but like she's got the pinky extended as she's just watching. Like maybe she's a guest for the day or whatever. Even though like I don't know how other factions actually feel about her, since she's like the type that goes and just blatantly challenges leaders of factions to duels just to prove that you're nothing. Like your teachings aren't as good as you think. But
Wow,
you know,
so
her
she's
teachings are so on as good as she thinks. So
that is crazy. That's crazy bananas. I think that you are a guest, and yeah, Booma is
maybe like I was brought in
towards
to
you.
critique.
Oh yeah. There we go.
Since
Brought
I,
into
like-
critique, so you're kind of a fighting expert, and in these dark times, your knowledge will be useful.
I am a lightsaber master. So.
You are indeed. So I have set up a situation specifically for some PC versus PC dueling here. Cool. PC versus PC duel. When you challenge another PC, say what you'll give them if they accept your victory. So, Abessa, you've been told to challenge Garland. So what would you... And this kind of speaks on a meta level, but I definitely need some like description. I want to see how Abessa and Garland fight, how they fight differently. Those are things that I'm really thrilled to hear. But we'll start on that meta level as the two of you face off. Abessa with her double-bladed lightsaber, and Garland with his twin lightsabers. What color is Garland's lightsaber? They look white.
They're pale blue.
Nice, a pale blue. Very
Yes.
cool. Which means a
People-
lot in lightsaber stuff.
Oh yes, it does. Absolutely.
Totally.
It's crazy what that means.
So much, so deep.
We could spend the entire session explaining it, and probably people will
So
understand.
there have been volumes written about lightsaber color pale blue.
Mm.
So Abessa, Dara, what are you offering to Garland Dahl?
If I win, if I defeat you, your power will look impressive to Ethan, almost as if it was an accident. Like we're evenly matched, but I happened to get something lucky happened that made me succeed.
I like that. I mean, Garland was pretty well prepared to lose here anyway, on purpose. So maybe I like the idea that you think it was just that you were evenly matched, and he's like, oh well, yeah, she's good. Probably better, but she's good. So we have this misunderstanding in the room, maybe a little. So yeah, you win. I mean, it's
so there's no role associated with that?
No, we narrate how, like, we come to the decision, then we narrate what it looks like. The player who accepts the offer and loses the duel marks XP, and you have to follow through on the offer that you have, so you don't look. So we hear the lightsabers, they're drawn out until you slip into your forms. What does Abessa Dara's form look like? Is it a thing where it's more reserved? Is it very flashy and showy?
It's super traditional. She's not really well versed in lightsaber battle. She uses her environment better. So I think what this looks like is she ignites the two lightsabers and stands there for a moment, maybe even salutes, and then moves very quickly. Like you see this blur and a leap, and there's a fountain nearby. And she takes and plunges both lightsabers into the fountain, and immediately the water boils and flashes to steam, and the whole area is covered in this steam fog, and everything kind of starts dripping. And then out of the fog we see some pieces of the concrete, the duracrete, come flying through towards Garland. And then we'll see this flash of lightsaber out of the fog, of course, disabling the special effects budgets, right? And then we'll see the draw that's been set up, right? The lightsaber come out against Garland and kind of hold him at bay so that they have a chance to surrender.
Yeah, but I think we should have a bit more of a duel here, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
not just you throw some concrete at him and he's like, "Oh, I'm so surprised." That's kind of weird. I think he is on the defensive.
Mhm.
He emulates your style, which might also help you
Ooh.
because that's not really what he's best at fighting. So he emulates your style. And there's a lot of traditional parry, attack, parry, attack, parry, attack. And if you use the fog and the whole broken fountain thing, then you might push him back into the fog or against the fountain, where he then will actually drop kind of drop his defense a little, or be overwhelmed with your more traditional attacks, which he hasn't expected. And the fog is getting into his eyes, and you can then get your lightsaber against his throat.
I think
we surrender.
I think we both see like the zoom in, the dramatic zoom in on the face,
Oh.
and there's the beaded sweat and fog and steam that kind of drips off. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
curious. Does Garland do something with his form that might betray that it's Garland? Because Gurwi is unaware of who this apprentice is.
I think that perhaps Gurwi is studying this. Perhaps.
Oh, right. Study it. Go ahead.
So on row 11, column E, there is a move called study. You study something in order to change the game state. Roll. So what element are you rolling with?
Force 0, flat roll.
Perfect.
Doing great today, folks. That's a 5.
Nice. So yeah, that's awesome. On a miss, I get to make a move. Sweet. What is the move that I shall make? Oh yeah, so the two of you bring this fight to a natural close. Gurwi, you're studying very closely, and then we hear the scream of a starfighter buzzing right overhead. Right, this is a courtyard, so you can look up overhead and you see this starfighter fly overhead, and then just it's going down. Right, there's this trail of smoke, and it hits, and you hear the crack of the building as it slammed into a part of the Jedi temple. And of course that's going to interrupt the victory there, but still, you won. Ethan Nor comes over, places his hand on Abessa's shoulder. His one hand, right? Because he's, so he places his left hand on your shoulder. Very good, my Padawan. Thank you, Sentinel.
And I bow to her and say, "Thank you, Padawan. That was very good. You are very well trained."
And I think Abessa so bows to the other to Garland. What is it that happens in our interaction that makes me realize it's you?
I think do you know that I'm not a son?
Is it your lightsabers? Right, you're wearing a Sentinel outfit, but you have the whole light blue lightsaber.
So I have probably haven't had an explanation for that, because I've pretended. I mean, this is my disguise. My disguise is pretty much not very penetrable. And I think you don't know Garland outside of his disguise.
Ah, okay.
Do you? Or do you?
No, I don't think so.
No, but I will say that what I especially liked about your approach was you're using the fountain. That showed initiative and spirit. That is not always found in this style.
Well, my skills are only have only been taught to me by my master, Ethan Knorr, and he's the one who inspired me to use the environment in such a way.
Well done.
And I think so. I bow to Garland, and I turn and I bow to Ethan.
Cool. So there's this like pocket of calm after the fight, but
that's when the ship comes screaming across.
Yeah, you guys are just finishing up, and then that's broken by the starfighter, and that distracts you, Gurway, from picking up anything about Garland. And Leandra says, "There's trouble," and she takes off. Clunk, 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 with her cybernetic leg sound effect caping out. What is Kalisa doing?
She was sitting on. She was doing the slow clap of like this was adequate. She was brought in to critique, but then there was this distraction. So
yeah, do you offer your critique?
Sure. I think at this point I need to roll some inner conflict because I don't want to praise Abessa too much. While I embrace passion, I don't want her to know that I favor her over the other. It was as your fellow student said, it was a good use of the environment, but you shouldn't rely upon the environment. You should train more in your actual skills at fighting because such deceptions don't always work.
Using the
but let me
environment
roll.
is part of fighting, though. I will engage with you. I'm not a Padawan anyway.
Oh, well, you lost, so.
So.
Okay, so let's see the roll.
Yep. And I have to choose an element that's not my style, right?
Right.
I have to look at my stuff. I'm gonna go with coaxium. Presence.
Sweet.
All right. Oh, okay. That's still a 6, so.
Okay, still a 6.
Oh, I have a bond though. I can burn bonds, right?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, what does that mean?
If you burn a bond, you're kind of leaning on that relationship. I often say,
How does that work?
It's my first time GMing it, so I don't often say when I'm rolling across the will. And I have been told when other people have run it for me who made the game, this bond usually needs to be somebody that either is in the scene or someone that their influence could impact that role. It doesn't necessarily make that relationship worse, but it means that mechanically you're going to need to restore that bond before you can lean on them for a role again.
All right. Is there
it's a +1.
Yeah, I understand the mechanics, but is there a fictional weight behind, do I have to do something to burn the bond in the fiction?
I have never had to actually fictionally do something.
Okay.
I always tried to lean into it to try to come up with the reason why this person, the bond with this person would help me here. So why do you think that, which bond were you going to lean
Abessa,
on?
because I'm literally I'm critiquing Abessa.
Okay.
Well,
yeah. So there's a lot of
too much,
emotion there, I think could be a.
Yes. So yeah. All right. I'll lower that 1 to a 0. Bring it up to a 7 or 9. I must either flee the scene or mark an element. My choice. I think. Okay, this could work into the choice because Garland was like, "Well, I'm not a Padawan," and you were start to talking back to me. I'm like, "I don't have time. We don't have time for this. There something just happened, so I got to get out of here." So I'm gonna flee the scene.
Cool. And don't forget to mark your XP.
Oh yeah,
it's not XP on a miss. It is XP on a.
I know.
Inner conflict. Sweet. So you flee the scene. We have.
And I will add, because you said, well, you lost the fight, and I will add that it's not just the fighting that makes the Jedi.
I'm not a Jedi, so.
You're a star dancer. That's different. Sweet. So we will follow as you guys, minus Kalisa, will make your way towards the explosion of the starfighter, there is one of the, not one of the 4 towers, right? But there is a tower that's part of the Jedi Temple complex on the outer edge of it. And we see that there was a small starfighter, like a single person starfighter, that has crashed. And immediately you see there are score marks along the wing. It looks like it may have been attacked. And I'm curious who is in the scene, who is chased after this starfighter. And once I know that, then we'll set the scene just a little bit.
So if Ethan Nor came along, I'm trailing behind him because he told me to attend him.
Okay, perfect. Very good, student.
There's an explosion. I'm going to look at it.
Okay.
I'm going to chase after Kalisa.
Oh,
because
nice.
I have sworn revenge. Oh, I've been secretly trained, me as part of a revenge plot, and Kalisa's my friend. I'm trying to figure out what she's up to.
Oh, right. Against your friend.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait. Maybe I should.
I'm not sure I'm
maybe
aware.
I
I've been.
should follow her because I should protect her, right? Damn, I want to look at this thing, but I want to protect her. Damn, this is an inner conflict.
It's an inner conflict.
Oh
yes.
my gosh, yeah.
There's a disturbance in the force. That's our joking
yeah,
rename of inner conflict, but go ahead and call it inner conflict.
Oh wow, I rolled a 3, so oh no, I didn't I didn't decide what element I was rolling with, but I would have rolled with I think I would have rolled at that point with probably caution, and I'm marking coaxium, whatever that is, and I'm getting an XP, and then you can make things worse.
Yeah. So you, I think you are so torn. By the way, I love your style name of 1,000 butterflies. That is delightful. Oh, and that was water, so it's force. We'll just rename that real quick. So you have to mark an element to wait. Why did you mark the element? Just on a miss, the GM makes things worse. Why did you mark the element?
Oh, I don't have to mark the element. That's fine. And then I don't.
No. I was going to have you mark an element. I just want to make sure I didn't misinterpret that. So let's have you mark the element.
Cool.
And yeah, you get drawn along to the starfighter. There's a moment where you hesitate, but you continue on following Abessa and Nor.
Maybe my indecision cost me the chance to follow Kalisa because she's gone, and then then the starfighter is the only thing that's there. My decision was made for me.
Cool. Neath and Nor stands as we see that it is burning. He says, I sense there's a life force in there. Bessa, please save them.
And I think we see, so is the ship on the ground or is it embedded in the building or?
Ooh, embedded in the building because like levels. Yeah, good call. Yeah.
And I think what we see is Abessa immediately, reaches out and starts doing the whole force jump thing to get up to the ship. And then the camera kind of zooms in as I'm standing on the ship, it starts to, tilt and, come down a little bit because it's embedded in the building, but it's not meant to be there and it's not going to stay there. And I reach down to grab a hold of the canopy and I'm going to try and rip that off.
I'd like to see you overcome this.
There we go.
This is doing something under pressure.
And I decide an element. I'm going to use Kyber because of speed, which is -1 for me. And I got an 8 -1 is 7.
On a 7 to 9, there's a complication. I'll present you with a worse outcome or a hard choice. You can leap free in the nick of time before this ship teeters and falls to the ground. but you will be unable to save that person. If you save yourself, you'll take nothing for it. Or I'll allow you to mark any element that you wish if you want to wrench the canopy open and grab the small being that is inside and pull them out.
So my master said to save them, so I'm going to, take the hit. I'll mark an element and pull the small being out. And I'll mark Kyber because that's the one I used.
Perfect. So let's see. Oh yeah. So there's some XP around entanglements. Let's investigate that because I want to make sure that we don't go far too past that. I thought we did that at end of session, but okay. We'll just make sure that we do that. So the start of session, if you hit with your marked entanglement, it gives you 2 XP, and the other gives you 1 XP.
No,
so we probably should have marked one.
At the start of session, you have to mark one of your entanglements, and at the end of the session, you look if you've hit them, and then you get the XP. But you have to mark them at the start of session because that indicates what entanglement you want to focus on.
Start of session, each player reviews and may revise in their entanglements. Change. Wait, where is that? I'm sorry.
I don't know, but I've always played it that way. I have no idea where that is noted.
So under advancement, it says at the end of a session, if you significantly interacted with your highlighted entanglement, mark 2 XP. So I'm going to go by the rules that are on the character keeper because that's what I took from the most recent official.
In start of session box, it says each player then highlights one of their entanglements.
Okay. Exactly. All right. So
this tells the table what they'd most like to see played out and offers extra XP.
Okay. Cool. Then the highlighted entanglement is so at the end of the session, if you significantly interact with your highlighted mark 2 XP. So let's circle back to entanglement. You can just do literally highlight the full fill for whichever of the two interested in. I see we've got romantic for Garland.
Rich
and
something is roboting here, and I think it's Rich.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean,
are you a droid, Rich?
Roger.
Hello?
Are you back?
I don't know. Am I back?
Maybe a little.
Okay.
We can hear you again.
My son and just maybe Zoom had to compensate for the extra pull on the end. Sorry about that. So we have, if you guys and quickly highlight, thank you for bringing that up, Sabine. I appreciate it. Sure that I understood how it worked because I remember doing stuff at the end, but I'd forgotten that we highlighted an entanglement. So I admit, just use flood fill to mark one of your 2 entanglements from romantic or general. It looks like we have general for Gui, general for Abessa, romantic for Garland. What about for Kalisa?
I highlighted Abisa. Always romance.
Oh, I see. They cannot choose between Abessa and Gizet. All right, let me just go ahead and flood fill that because I don't see it. Now we do.
I just bolded.
Oh, that's not good enough for me. Everything bold. Sweet. So we'll keep that in mind. We now know what's highlighted. Thank you. So we have a split up. Abessa Gerwi has followed Abessa. Abessa is up trying to save the small being in the starfighter. I'm curious what Gerwi is doing as he sees Abessa make this valiant attempt, and then the starfighter falls out of. I
followed Kalisa.
Sorry, you're right.
It's all good.
Gerwi followed Kalisa. Garland followed Abessa. Sorry. Got all verklumped there. So Garland, as you see Abessa in the starfighter, and Nor as well as Liadra are both watching right now. What is Garland's reaction?
I would attempt, when I arrive, which is probably a bit late, I would attempt to help her, of course. I don't want to see her hurt or anything. I mean, I kind of like her, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Nice.
So she when she snatches that person, Starfighter falls towards the ground. It looks like Abess is going to fall as well. What do you want to do, Garland?
Can I just use the force to kind of not entirely catch her in the air and hold her there, but just to make her fall a little.
You want to cast Featherfall with the force? That sounds amazing.
No, I want just to give her a chance to make a superhero landing instead of crashing onto her feet. I don't want to embarrass her or anything. She's been embarrassed enough by other people. And
is this a thing where you want to impress her then? Are you trying to impress her with this ability?
I don't want to impress her. I want to impress Ethan, so it looks like she is the one who's doing it.
Oh, that's delightful. Let's do that. Then the act to impress others to succeed a competition. Describe your performance, which is you use the force to slow Abessa's descent down so that she lands.
I imagine she has some skills of her own to land properly, but just a little, give her a little hand at that.
Okay.
And then impress Ethan more with her aptitude, I guess. And I'm rolling that. Yes, what I'm rolling that with. I think I might roll that with caution and focus and presence. So that's coaxium. Yes. Oh wow. I think I've rolled a 6, but I will in this case.
Wait a second. You couldn't roll with coaxium.
Oh no, it's marked. You're right. You're right. Then I will have to roll in this case, I guess, with Kyber, and then no, carbonite doesn't make any sense. So I can't even burn a bond in this case.
Oof.
Sorry.
Oh, so
sorry.
Kalisa rolls a 5 and it ends up as a 5. Yeah, we'll go ahead and have you mark that element. You feel a gentle tug, Abessa, as if perhaps Ethan Nor is trying to save you from falling. But it's just a moment, and then it lets you go. And you look to Ethan and you realize just before you splat onto the Duracrete and get a little hurt, which is where you're going to mark that element. You realize that Ethan was only watching and observing. He was not using the force. And then you notice that it was that sentinel. You can see the bit of those drawn on eyebrows were like knit in concentration as he was trying to save you, or help you somehow, but he didn't.
And can we say that basically I do the whole superhero landing, like, on one knee, and that's whenever, some part of the falling ship hammers into me, and that's the...
Oh, that looks nasty. I love that. Yeah. So like you're hit by the ship and knocked to the ground, and maybe it's on top of you, and we're like, oh, and we cut away from that. Because
twice in one episode.
I know, you're the worst day. It's the worst day. Kalisa, you had to get away from there. Where is it that you retreat to in the Jedi Temple?
Oh, I'll probably leave the temple.
Nice. Where is it?
It's not my place.
Outside of the temple, you've gone outside of the temple, moving quickly down the Duracrete steps, away from the opulence and the decadence of the Jedi Temple, into the market of Coruscant that just happens to be right outside.
Totally. Probably there's like a nice cantina place I go to. I probably even go like even further, maybe even deeper into Coruscant. Like I go looking for trouble to stop it, and the Jedi don't care about the people down below, but I do.
They don't. Ooh, so have you gone down to like the underground then, like a lower level then?
I'm a regular.
Sweet. Yeah. So we totally are going to use the level 1313 because that's just the most fun ever. So yeah, we see just a quick thing of the music, and then we see 13, 11, 13, 12, 13, 13, and the lift doors open up, and Kalisa steps out, and we see all the wet Duracrete streets from all the things that are dripping down. There's no vision of the sunlight, and you end up going into a cantina, and we do not hear nice like jazz music from Bish or anything like that. This is like a seedy, maybe similar to like Rogue One, like that throat music stuff going on at the beginning of Rogue One. So it's very foreboding. It's a little dangerous. We see some like a Twi'lek dancer. He's up there, and other people they're playing sabacc, and they all look like, you know, there's a bunch of people who look grimy. It's a wretched hive of scum and villainy indeed. And Gurwi, you followed Kalisa to this. What is the expression we see on our excellent actor Wookiee portrayal here?
I think it's like there's a separate lift that also goes down to 1313. I know where Kalisa is heading. I've been here before. I've seen her there before. And so I think Gurui actually no, it's like a speeder taxi. And Gurui gets out, and he's sort of assumed this like very tall cloaked thing that has definite echoes of some sort of Sith. And he enters this bar and is trying to figure out why Kalisa has come to this bar. She's making some sort of contact. He can't figure out why she's here.
I still haven't figured it out. It's amazing. Cool. So you've come in looking for some wrongs that need to be righted. Isn't that
yeah,
what
like
you're asking?
there's always stuff going down here. I'm a regular, as Gurui said. So I ordered like the strongest thing, relaxed in the bar, watching and waiting. And I see some we're just gonna have I can just make up trouble happening, right?
I mean, sure.
Yeah, there's some like
maybe members of Fookpaw's thugs, the cartel runner down here.
Sure. Yeah,
Awesome.
I don't.
So a number of Fookpaw's thugs. There's a Gamorrean, and there's some other people that are dressed in Death Trooper armor, because we had that on hand, and so we just kind of mark it up a little bit. They look terrifying. Those are definitely troops you can deal with, and they are giving the business to we'll say they're giving the business to a few of the members of the clientele here.
Yeah, like they're like hustling. It's basically like what the protection racket's coming in to start shit.
There we go.
And, like, hassling the dancers and the bartender. And that's when, like, I know, you stop. This area is under my protection.
And Fookpaw's thugs, including the Gamorrean just squeals menacingly at you. And they're going to roll
my
up
hair back.
Yes. It sounds like you want to fight with a group of foes who are collectively below your scale. You're dealing with troops. Yep. Roll with style element. On a hit, you defeat them. Describe how you do so. On a 10+, you do so easily. On a miss, you have to choose that you're overwhelmed and have to retreat, but get to mark XP, or you win at a cost. So what's your style element you'd like to roll with?
Let's see. My style element is force, but I have a legendary lightsaber, which can be recognized whenever. So I get +1.
Yeah. So what's it look like? We have to see it's legendary, right? So there's a moment where the music just kind of strings up, and we hear the whoa, and then
and I'm pulling out of, like, I guess from behind my back or whatever, or belt or whatever. It's like, my green, my purple blade is they're both legendary, and like they've got like the like crazy curved hilts and whatnot.
Oh, love it. I love the curved hilt. It's very fancy.
Yep. I replaced the crystals for aesthetic reasons.
Right.
So
sweet. So and I think that I think there is a Rhodian there who calls out like a name associated with the legend of one of those two lightsabers. Is this a member of the Jedi or a member of the Sith?
One of each.
One of each. That is such a great, weird balance thing. I love that. So they'll call out the name of the Sith. They say, "Oh, that was Stygian's lightsaber. Kala Stygian's lightsaber before she lost it. Who did she lose it to?" And then it'll probably be Kalisa now. So let's have you roll. What was the roll here? Let's see how this
Force.
goes.
That's right. Deal with troops, right?
Yeah, deal with troops, and you get to choose what style element you want to use.
Oh, I get to choose my style element.
Uh-huh.
Okay, then I'm gonna go passion, baby.
If it's fighting, you always have
You
to
have to
yeah.
have a style element, and you have
thank
to
you.
use
Sorry.
It
your
says
style
style
element.
Your roll with style element. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was gonna
Apologize.
say, Mark. All right, then it's force. So
Okay. Roll with the force.
because
Roll.
she's not actually good at the stunt combat for the show.
You got a +2, so you're good at this. You're fine.
It's the 7, 8, 9.
Ooh, on a 7 to 9, you've got a choice. Their numbers. See.
On hit, you
Okay.
defeat
On
them.
hit, you defeat them. That's right. You have to choose on a miss, so you just defeat them. You do it. You don't do so
Yeah.
easily though. So what is the effort? Like, is it? What is the thing that we see where there's maybe a slip in your concentration?
I think like some of them get through, like like one of the sleeves of my dress gets cut off, and like there's like a little scratch, and I'm like, some hair gets cut. I'm like, what?
Oh wow, this is a pitted fight. What is Gerwig's reaction? You followed, you want to observe, you knew where Khaleesi would go. Kalisa, I did it. This first time I did it. So anyway, Gerwig, what's your reaction?
I think I'm angling for hidden conflict here because I know that Giza has been training me to fight someone, training me for revenge, and it's not until Kalisa ignites that second lightsaber, that the legendary Sith weapon, that I realize who I've been trained to fight.
Oh wow, this is the moment you realize. Huh?
Yeah, this is when I see that legendary Sith weapon. I'm like, oh, that's who I've been trained to fight, my friend. So I think I roll with
You roll with anything except your
except my
style
style
element.
I think this is I mean, it's a 0 either way. I don't know. Is this more like focus, or is this more awareness? Maybe awareness. I'll go for awareness.
All right, I'm going to step away for just a
that's-
second.
No problem. So I'm rolling force, and it goes great. It goes great with a 3.
The force is weak with you.
So I rolled a 3, which the GM makes things much worse.
That's amazing. Yeah. So the GM makes things work much worse. What the Fuqua thugs are nearly dealt with, but that is when Coruscant security, who are dressed like stormtroopers, but in like these gray stormtrooper uniforms, they arrive in a troop transport, and Gerwig, they're gonna arrest everybody in this cantina. They will just
Security came this far down. I'm impressed for once. I do want to say I don't kill any of them. I just like destroy all their weapons and maybe hurt them a bit.
Nice. Yeah, kicking, force push, that kind of cool stuff.
I never force push.
Oh, you
I rarely use the force because I'm a lightsaber master.
Oh, okay, cool. So there's a lot of like
I can
whacking people with the hilt of the lightsaber, slicing. Maybe you pop a blaster bolt back, and it like knocks a light fixture, that kind of stuff. Is that what we see?
It's like a lot of high kicks and flips and spins. Looks like she's dancing.
Oh, beautiful. I love it.
So maybe it's surprised when you suddenly get force pushed out the window?
Yeah, that would be impressive. That would be surprising.
Because security is here and you're going to get in trouble. and you're my friend, and I have to fight you. And what's going on?
Oh, that's so great. I love it. So you get lifted up and carried out of a window. We don't see the strings. It's really good wire work.
What the flark?
Carking hell. Sweet. So you end up in splashing in an alley, and Gerwie is there, right? You're like, we get to see this relationship right now. So what happens? What does Gerwie do?
What are you doing down here?
And in Wookiee, what are you doing with that saber?
These are the sabers that I've won in battle. It's like, this shouldn't come as a surprise to you, Garraway. You'd know of my reputation.
Yes, but that saber belongs to
Me.
No, it belongs to Calvistigian.
No, it belongs to me.
Are you saying she is no more?
I'm saying she lost it to me.
Meanwhile, we have the gray troopers are piling all of people out. But you see, Gerwie, you're at the end of the alleyway. You see that the troopers are letting Foopaw's thugs go, right? There's one of them, the Gamorrean, says something to them, and they let them off with a warning, a slap on the hand, but don't even take them in. But they're taking in a bunch of the Cantina's people.
Look what your interference has caused. A valuable lesson has not been learned.
What does this place matter to you?
Shouldn't it matter to you, Jedi?
I did not come down here seeking trouble.
Maybe you should. Maybe the Jedi should. You're supposed to be peacekeepers.
We seek balance.
I forgot the little people are beneath your notice. Am I trying to pressure you? Are you susceptible to my words? Am I hearts and minding you?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm like, why don't you use your authority to step in? So
love that. That's great.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna roll passion on this because I'm a passionate person.
Sweet. Sounds like you're using that passion.
So I'm trying to get you to use your Jedi authority to step in. It's 5, but it's +2, so it's 7. On a hit, something happens. For PCs on a hit, they may mark XP if they do as I ask. If they don't, they mark an element. On a 7 or 9, you mark an element as well if they decline. They may burn a bond to avoid this.
Ooh.
So I think I'm going to do as you ask. And I just I pull off the hood, and I turn to the Coruscant security, and I do the Jedi mind trick to suddenly have them, this is not worth the credits they are paying you.
Oh wow.
So now I've done as Kalisa has asked.
Yeah, you're acting to do something about this. But I think there could be some problems here. I think you need to use hearts and minds on them using the Jedi mind trick
Okay.
on these gray troopers.
And I'm allowed to mark roll anything, right?
Yeah, say what you're getting to do and roll.
I would say this is creativity, so that's my Kyber.
Okay.
Go. Hey. Oh, wow. That's a 12.
Wow. Okay. On a 10 plus, they bow to your words and do what you want. And these are all fine Coruscant security troopers and their sergeant, who's got the like reddish shoulder plate thing. He listens to you and he says, "Very well, Jedi. Of course, Jedi." And the troopers who were before letting these guys go, one of them steps forward and grabs the Gamorrean. The Gamorrean's piggish eyes look at you with hate and anger and maybe a little fear as they start to throw him in the paddy wagon of that huge troop transport, right? And they start arresting Fuqpa's thugs, except, of course, there's one of that's observing this. And of course, the person who's observing this has to be Koth, the Zabrak, member of the Sith, the 9 Raven Rings, the brother of Giza, as he's observing this and he slides back into the shadows. And
So I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Is it known among everyone that Giza is a Sith? Or is it
What
like
do
one of
you-
those secret Sith things?
What do you prefer?
The secret Sith.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Koth and Giza are not nice people, but they're not Sith.
Okay.
You know, they dwell on 1313, but they're not Sith.
Yeah, like maybe some people know based off the entanglement questions, but like I don't want to know yet.
Oh, so you guys are just in it for fun. There's no forced stuff going on between the two of you. Or maybe you have
I mean, there is, but it's just not, she's got different teachings.
Okay. All right. I like it. So Koth and Giza, maybe I'm gonna put a gray background behind them.
Like Abessa might know based off the general question of Abessa's. Like Giza's the master of an enemy Sith, so maybe that feels like Abessa might know that she's Sithy.
Okay.
What? You can't feel the dark side coming from her?
I don't believe in absolutes.
Ooh. Delightful. Cool. So we'll cut away from that scene. Abessa and Garland, the two of you had that moment of connection. Then Abessa was slammed by the starfighter, and the young little being that was in the cockpit is a Duro, and the Duro appears to have been injured during the crash. Liadra picks them up and will carry them to the med bay, but Ethan Nor comes forward and says,
Can I ignore him. I want to get Abessa. Is Abessa okay? Do I have to get her out
I think
of there?
Abessa's trapped underneath the
Yes,
starfighter.
that's
You do something
said. I
about
will
that.
absolutely ignore Ethan and try to get Abessa out from under there because, I mean,
I think you need to overcome
yes, I think so.
doing
Too.
something under pressure.
Yes, okay. I have lots of elements marked already. I think I will try this side. I need to be fast here. So I'll try to use Kyber.
Okay.
Yeah,
Speed
I
and
can't
fashion.
I can't roll. I cannot roll. I've rolled a 4. So yeah, well, okay. I won't have any elements left.
Mark the element.
It's
So
over.
you
Yeah.
try to do it with speed. You try to grasp the force, yank it,
Yeah.
force it to do your will, and you find yourself wanting.
Mm.
And then there, with this left hand outstretched, you just gently reaches and pulls it up. Sentinel, please pull my Padawan from the wreckage. And the ship just kind of slowly hovers up, and you are forced to do what Ethan has told you, right?
Yeah, well, I will. I mean, I am a Jedi actually. So I think, well, that was stupid. I should have used the Force instead of trying to grapple this thing with my fingers. Yes, but I let my feelings get in the way. So yes, I will absolutely do what he tells me.
I think we see this hand reach out, and Garland's hand kind of grasps it and pulls Abyssa out. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. And Ethan says, "Thank you, Sentinel. We have. Seems that there's something amiss. Something attacked this starfighter." And he moves over.
Can I study the starfighter? I mean,
yeah.
probably better not roll again, right?
I will. If you want to study, you should study.
I will study. I will study. I will
I seek all of it.
Yeah, I haven't marked all of my elements yet, so I will roll with Beskar at that point because
you've gotten everything except for your style element mark.
You know what? I've rolled a 6, and with Beskar that's 5. So well, yeah. See.
Oh man,
this is not a good day, and I think maybe I should just stop doing stuff today.
No.
Do you automatically mark when you roll?
No, that's actually an MC call, but it's kind of the default. That's how it normally.
Yeah, it's true.
But it's not the only thing. I could say don't mark your element because I'm going to do X or Y. Mm-hmm. But I am amused by the idea of all of your elements being marked except for your style elements. So
that means that I cannot do anything anymore.
Well, until someone helps you.
Yeah.
So you study it, but Abyssa, you realize there is conflict within Garland Dahl. You feel it, you sense it through the Force. You're wounded, yes, but there's a wound in Garland even deeper. What do you do?
So I think that the reason that Garland wasn't able to study the starship well, and I think Ethan's kind of circling around the starship looking at it, and I go up beside Garland and I lean over and I start talking to him and I say, there's more to you than seems to be visible. It seems like you're interested in me personally. Why is this? I think this distracts him from the whole.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I cannot roll for inner conflict. I cannot.
I know you can't.
You can roll. See, I said I can't roll.
I know.
So what do I do now?
What I'm angling towards, let's see what I can do here. What I'm angling towards is a comfort or support.
Oh, okay.
Cool. And this is,
Yes, but this is actually where inner conflict would trigger.
Well, if you can suggest a way I can get comfort or support to trigger, there's a chance that if I roll okay, that then you could trigger your inner conflict with whatever gets cleared.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's that. I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
this is great.
And then you'd lose it again, right?
Yeah, then I'd lose again. So try and conflict and support me. I feel very supported, but I
think the way that this looks is I think that Abyssa actually reaches out and puts an arm around Garland and says, I really appreciate you trying to help. I saw that you tried to help me as I was falling and you helped pull me free. I owe you a great debt.
Ooh. So roll for it.
Okay. And do I pick a style with heart and with comfort and support?
Comfort and support. You just roll. So you go to assist or clear harm from a fellow PC, roll.
I rolled a 7.
Okay. On a hit, they may accept your words, clear a checked element, or gain a bond with you. What would you like to do, Garland?
I would like to gain a bond, but I guess in this case, I'll rather uncheck an element so I can roll for inner conflict with it, right? I think I will clear coaxium, and then I will roll for inner conflict because you asked me for my feelings, and I don't want to reveal them. But oh wow, I've rolled a 12. I am very much in control of myself here,
Nice.
which is actually quite neat. So I will look at you and I will say, well, dear Abessa, I feel a connection with you. I cannot explain it, but there is something here and I've come to explore it. Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I've let my feelings overcome my better judgment.
And Professor says, we must all strive to be better and learn our lessons. Me more than others. And I think Abessa just turns to leave, and you see at a moment, you know, at that dramatic walk away, she turns and kind of cocks her head and looks back and, how did that one know my name? And then just moves on. Yeah.
Ooh. Nice.
How did I know your name? We had fought a duel. Ethan said your name.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
true. But, all right. Huh.
Maybe I used your full name, Abessadara, right? So that you can have that. Oh, how
Right.
did he know that? That's because I like that. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking after her and I'm debating with myself that I shouldn't. No, I won't go after her. I have to get my feelings under control, and also I have to look for Kalisa because I am supposed to look out for her anyway.
Nice. So we would is the thing, maybe you don't find Kalisa in the temple, but she's not a temple kind of girl. Would you call her on comms then?
I mean, I have a move for that actually. I'll just go
Awesome.
wherever she is. I let the force guide me, and then I appear wherever she is right now.
Okay,
Because
cool. So
I mean,
let's,
if that's okay with you,
that's
Joe,
totally cool. That's what that
no,
move does.
I want to
Is
ask.
that cool with Joe?
No,
Yeah.
but I want to ask Joe.
Always
because
okay with me.
intruding into a scene, well, at that
It's a-
point, I
this-
don't
This
think
is a
it's
game about
problem.
drama.
Yeah. So I will appear at where are you in the lower lower levels?
Yeah,
yeah.
we're in like level 13. I just
Before,
invited.
I do want to see, like before, yeah, that's where you're at. But I wanted to see Kalisa's reaction to Gurwi talking to the Gray Troopers to have them
I
arrest.
do the arched eyebrow. I'm like, I suppose that I should do.
Nice. And then Garland
Though
goes,
it was an
sorry.
exertion of force. You could have you didn't even try to talk to them. So I'm still like sniping you, snidely.
I think, Lisa, you've gone perhaps too far.
I've gone too far.
You forget. You forget that we must begin the battle with our minds before we begin it with our sabers, and I think that's when Guri will leave.
Okay, I've got you. Just manipulated. Yeah, you did. And I was like, well, okay, fine. But that's when I make my way towards like the known place where like the protection racket, their boss resides at.
Okay.
And
So
I
you're
fall
going to
into
try
step.
to find
I
the
fall into
kingpin?
step beside at your side at some point when you're
Yeah.
walking there.
So many Jedi just deciding to. Oh, you decided to traipse down here as well.
Oh well, I've been here before.
I didn't think it was the orders within the order's purview to lower themselves this far.
Well,
First
isn't the
Gurwi,
order?
then you.
The order is here for everyone to protect people. That is literally our purpose, right?
That's what they claim, but you're the only one that apparently comes here on the regular.
I do.
So, I guess that makes you better than most of them.
I don't know about that. I don't do it to make myself better than everyone. It's just that what I was taught, I try to follow through on it.
No, I appreciate that. People down here need people looking out for them because security turns a blind eye more than half the time.
They're only people. They probably have problems of their own. Life is complicated. There are no easy solutions.
On that, we can agree.
What are we doing?
Oh, I'm going to deliver a message to, what was that dude's name, Rich? Are they on the NPC tab?
Oh, no,
The
not yet.
Syndicate. I remember these guys.
And the Fuqua Syndicate. Lil Holly Fuqua, a human who is the drug pin, kingpin of this, or queen pin, I guess.
Yes, I'm going to deliver a message to Fuqua.
So our brother's still alive.
I think for this movie, yes. Galen
Lovely.
the assassin.
Oh wow, that was a bad dude.
This season, I guess.
This season, he's alive.
Lovely.
I don't know them, I don't think. Anyway.
Okay.
You're welcome to join me if you like.
Oh yeah, why not? Could be fun.
I'm sure things will get exciting. They generally do around me.
I like exciting.
Oh, is that so?
Had an exciting life. Had an exciting day.
Are you trying to figure out how to comfort or support you? Do you want to talk about it?
Well, I was
Before we get into that, is me asking, do you want to talk about it count as triggering comfort or support? Because when I'm trying to help clear some harm from them.
Thank you.
I think so. Why not? Right? That's what normal people do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally
true.
what therapists do, right?
Yeah. Cool.
So I'm gonna go presence. So coaxium. Coaxium makes sense. So 6, 7, 8, 9. On a 9, on a hit, they may accept your words. So I guess the accepting the words is you opening up to talk about it.
Yes, I will say, oh, well, I made an ass out of myself a little around a Bessa, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's always good for one to experience a bit of humility.
Yes, I experienced a lot of that today. But, well, I let my feelings get into the way of my clear-headedness, so I guess that's what I deserved.
Well, I would disagree that feelings would get in the way, but that's the difference between me and the order.
They did get in the way, trust me. I need some level-headedness to do some of the stuff I do. And I didn't today. But, well, life is hard, and it's not the first time any of this has happened to me. So
maybe you just need better training in channeling your feelings into the Force.
That's an interesting idea. Channeling my feelings. The point here is that I'm not very clear about what my feelings are.
So that I can understand.
Yeah. Can you? I mean, I could try to comfort and support her, I guess.
Sure.
I mean,
neat. Do it.
Yeah, I mean,
there's other options, so yeah.
Oh, exactly. So I want to talk about it.
Oh. Always.
And I roll. Maybe I just roll and see.
Yep.
Where that goes, right? And I think this is coaxium because of presence.
Cool.
Maybe I'll mark it again. Let's see. Come on, dice. Stop rolling. Oh wow. I've got a 12. So yeah. Hello there.
Well, you saw the other
on a
side
type
of it.
plus, you may additionally clear an element yourself, ask them a question they must answer, or gain a bond with them. Well, I guess I'll just start clearing, continue clearing my elements right now because I already have a bond with her, and you can, but you could take a bond with me, or anything else you can do.
Let's see. I can clear a
gain a
checked
bond.
element or gain a bond with you.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
so yeah, I love talking about it. So, we all have, despite my usually cool demeanor, I've got my own feelings that I have to come to grips with. A choice that I probably have to make at some point, and what to pursue and how. So I'll go up to 2 with you. But it's tricky because I'm not sure if they are, if one of them is as open to embracing their feelings as I am.
Wow. Embracing feelings is a hard thing to learn.
Well, not for many of us.
Oh, I don't know. That would mean that many of us would know what our feelings are and would be very clear about where our feelings want to go. And I don't feel that goes for many people. I might go for you, Kalisa. You seem very assured often in yourself, but many of us, they have feelings here and there, and they conflict with each other. So
There's the risk of getting hurt, but if nothing's risked, nothing's gained.
well, I think we can agree about that. Oh, look, there are the footpaths.
Nice. And yeah, you cut that off. We see that the footballs are in this high-rise apartment in one of the nicest places on 1313. And we would see that there's this like balcony area, and little Holly Footpaw is attended by her brother, and we cut to see the Koth, the Zabrak, the red and black Zabrak, makes his way up to speak to them. But we jump away from that scene. We're nearing, probably this will be the last little quick scene here before we stop and do our post-game stuff. And it's Gerwie, when you had your moment helping out Kalisa and all the Grey Troopers of Corsac took away Fookpaw's people, where did you go? How did you...
Oh, I have a great idea for a scene here.
So do I, but let's see what you got.
I've returned to the Jedi Temple.
Oh, okay.
And I have found some remote area of the archives where I can get out an encrypted signal. I have done this before. And I'm talking to Giza.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I'm
I also
her...
had an idea of scene with Giza, but this is a different setup, but I love it. I'm here for it.
And I think I'm speaking to her like it's a very tropey, Star Wars thing, the Sith Master in the holocron thing, and the holographic projection.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm speaking to her and saying, I have found them. I have found the keeper of going to NPCs, places of Kala's saber. But you have disguised something from me. And I think this is probably when Abessa walks in.
Yes. So Abessa, you walk into a communique between Gerwie, the Wookiee, and a red Twi'lek. do you know Giza?
I think I do. I think we were talking about it, and I have felt the dark side from Giza. And
Yeah.
think that's
You also
not
know
okay.
that your friend Kalisa was learning from Giza. And
Right.
here Giza is talking to Gurwi. What do you do?
And Guri is the one who is always trying to. I guess I'm trying to overcome my feelings of anger towards, Guri.
Sounds like there's a disturbance in the force. You need to roll inner conflict.
Oh, nice. Okay. And I have to roll with that with anything except for my
Style element, correct.
Yeah. I think that I'm going to roll this with carbonite.
Okay.
Because I'm curious what's going on. And I rolled a 10 plus 1 is 11.
What? That's amazing. You managed to keep yourself together.
Can this look like basically, so what we see on screen is Abessa, walks, kind of starts to round the corner, but Gowry is engaged in his conversation with Giza. And, Abessa kind of steps back and you see her peeking around the edge to listen in.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Let's do a bit of that conversation. So Giza's reached out to you. Have you reported what you've done? I want to queue up the conversation, make sure I'm on the same page.
Yeah, I don't think I've told her. I've told her that I have found the keeper of the saber, but that she has kept something from me, and that the keeper of the saber is Kalisa, something she would know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So she says, why do you think I have sent you after her? Why do you question? You need to be a proper student, Wookiee. You need to do what I have asked you. Only then will the truth be unveiled.
But must they die?
Unfortunately, yes. She's too dangerous. I've entrusted you with this. Is it too much?
Is there no other way?
Always looking for a way out. You need to prove to me that you are worthy. Do as I have demanded, or I will do it myself, and you'll be next.
Yes, my master.
And I think we see the hand reach out. I think we see Guri's hand reach out to turn it off. And as it withdraws, so Giza kind of disappears. And as it comes back, that's whenever Abyssa's hand grabs Gowry's, Gowry's wrist, forearm, and says, you and Kalisa are both being played for fools.
And we cut right there. Like,
Yeah.
That's it. That's the sting right there. Cool. So that will bring our session to a close. Let us look at entanglements, because that is how we handle marking XP. So let's go over, everybody will review. So we'll just start in the character keeper from left to right. So we'll start with Kalisa. Read us your 2 entanglements and we'll judge together if you hit those.
If I significantly interacted with my highlighted entanglement, which is
2 XP, and the other one you get 1 XP.
Abisa and Garland.
Cannot choose between Abisa and Giza. Do you feel like that was significantly touched on? I think so at the end there.
All right.
Buma protecting Garland. What do you think?
Sort of. We had that thing where I'm like, oh, you needed help. You need help. So I got them to open up, try to teach them there's more than just the Order's way.
All right, that's 3 XP. Let's go to Gurwi. Your marked is your master Giza secretly trained you. I think yes. 100% yes. What about the other one? Love Ethan Norris, sworn revenge against their friend Garland.
I'm a little wishy-washy on that one because I did try to hit that one a little early with the study, but it didn't really go off. So I'm good with just 2.
Okay. Anybody else feel like just trying is good enough to get an XP in your experience? I think so
Fine,
too.
it's usually
So
good enough.
Okay,
good.
with 8
good
XP,
enough.
get it.
Yeah, you need 8 XP, so I'm super generous. Bessa. See, I discovered my friend Kalisa has been learning techniques from Giza, master of an enemy Sith.
I think we touched on that at the very end.
Yep. And then humiliate yourself, Ethan Nor. We let no one forget it. Of course, we saw the droid arm flapping, so that's 3 XP. And then Garland. This guy is myself.
Yeah, in the beginning, because I had this duel and then we had this talk, and I think I also hit on the other one that I would because that was why I went after Kalisa. So
Totes.
Yep. Sounds good. All right, everybody got those 3 XP out of there.
see.
That will bring the mechanics part of our Hearts of the Force game to a close. I'd love to do a little bit of feedback. But before I do that, let me check in. Is everybody okay if I post this and share it around? Awesome. I remembered. Hey, Greg, you might want to change your name back to Greg. Awesome. So we'll do 2 stars and a wish. We'll do them wishes, do a round of wishes, and then we'll do stars. Wishes, especially first session, a 5-session thing. Love to hear anything. So you're like, oh, I definitely see this thing. Wishes are also like, hey, I'm less interested in X or Y. And lastly, if you have any wishes that are, this part of the game is confusing to me, or this thing right here, the way we did it is a little odd, that kind of stuff. I'll just say from a wish, I appreciate Sabine, you let me know about the entanglements and marking at the beginning. I totally spaced on that. And thank you for saying something, especially early enough to where we could try to amend that. I appreciate that. So I just want to say this less a wish and more of just like I wanted to thank you for doing that. Right? I spaced it. Cool. So we'll go from right to left. We'll start off with Sabine. What wishes do you have?
Wishes. Okay, I wish I was less whiny about my stupid marked elements. Sorry about that. And
I love that we went like down. We went up the ladder and down the ladder again.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, it was nice. That was very, very good. Well done. I mean, I've had games where I had marked elements and I couldn't get rid of it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's what. Also, a wish. What wish would I have? Oh yeah. I would want to have more battles with actual enemies and duels with bad guys and stuff like that. That's a wish, and maybe on top of a carriage. But oh wow, we're in Coruscant. We can totally have these lightsaber battle on top of these flying, zipping around little ships. Might be expensive, but hey, this is a pilot, right?
That's right. We just this pilot was well received, and they've got a little on the back end, so we will have more budget for future of this mini series. So cool. Thank you, Sabine. So we're doing the character keeper from right to left, which means that next is Steve.
As far as wishes, I don't really have many. I have a move called Rise of the Old Masters that lets me have a Force Ghost. So I might see if I can find a picture of a Force Ghost and pull him in like every session or something like that. I'll put that
every session.
Yeah,
that's great. Yes, Force Ghost, love it. Cool. Anything else, Steven?
Not that I can think of.
All right, Greg.
My wish, as far as the fiction goes, I'm really interested. I'm marking it as for next session, of course. I'm interested why I have sworn revenge against Garland and what that is. It's one of the entanglements, and we didn't touch on that part of it. We touched on the loving Ethan Nor part. And then the one little thing, rules-wise, is that when you mark an element, you have to keep up a condition, if I'm not mistaken, for So if you mark, like I marked Beskar very early, and because I'm, fear, anger, hate, suffering, you have to come up with a condition that basically when your Beskar is marked, it flips to the opposite and you role play it. At least that's how I.
Is that a new thing?
I thought that
Well,
was.
no,
always
there's a
in
thing that says
Lexawilin.
condition on it. That is
Because
Yeah.
if you go to
But I meant, like, is that new in like
Never
recent
seen-
playtest,
yeah, that-
recent
I think-
materials?
No, I think that was there right from the beginning, and I've never seen it played.
Yeah, when you mark an element, you cannot roll with it. Just as your playbook has descriptions for element represent when rolling, like carbonite is awareness or whatever, right? It has descriptors for when an element is marked for the character. This means it's a negative version of it. So if you mark your Kyber, you become reckless. So that's just
interesting.
It's part of the. I've seen it help me at least as a character, like because marking an element means you can't roll with it, but it also like affects your character.
Yeah.
Like Guri is fearful right now, because of that marked element.
I've seen it with clearing elements because you can do that in a montage. And in that montage, you have to address that kind of characteristic from the condition. And that I've seen. I've never seen it like that. Anybody was like, hey, wait, your element X is marked. You have to play your character like this because if you
love it because I've once recommended that to Lowell back when I first play tested this years ago under he who should not be named.
Okay.
So, but like I remember it's not written in the other moves anywhere, I don't think.
Well, it does talk about it in marking elements, so that's interesting. I'm gonna seek a little bit of guidance to make sure that I don't quite get it even reading it right now. I appreciate you pointing it out to me, and
I like it because like you have those options there, but
yeah, I like it as an RPQ, but not as a bludgeoning instrument.
Yeah,
I think we're on the same page there.
So I think like I remember suggesting, hey, if you role play that up, is that a way to get out of it, or?
It doesn't actually look like that gets you out of it.
No, I think it's just more of a role-playing prompt.
It's for the montage thing you can do.
For the montage.
When you have spare time or when time passes, you can do a montage to get out of the whole I'm whatever it is that blocks me here, and that leads into whatever it is that blocks you, like those thingies. That like those conditions. But I like the idea of actually naming that. I never realized you could do that. I mean, it's on the character key.
I never knew what condition was. It just kind of, I thought, is that a vestigial limb? So that's really interesting.
It is a vestigial limb, basically, I think.
But I think it's actually a pretty interesting idea. Yeah. So thank you, Greg. I appreciate that. Any other wishes? No? All right.
No, excellent.
Joe. Wishes.
Let's see, fiction wise, look forward to like getting in more and dealing with Abessa and Giza. Steven yet again. I look forward to having more scenes with you. Recurring theme this week.
All right, cool. Anything else, Joe?
No, just mechanic stuff that's you have no control over. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then we'll stick with you for stars. You get to offer a couple of stars to your fellow players.
Big stars to Guri playing like both sides. I'm like, oh, yep, got a secret master, and like love that scene at the end with Abessa coming in. It's like you're both being played for idiots. I'm like, I'm not. He is. I'm clearly not. And
Kalisa's the fool, don't you see?
I mean, you all probably feel that way because like I'm so dumb and in the middle. And let's see, another big star for I love the whole Abessa and Garland going off to rescue the thing. I'm like, oh shit. Just like the continuing spiral of like things did not go well for me today. I'm gonna go protect that person instead. That's probably much easier. They're dumb.
Somebody's in less trouble, and I'll help them.
She
Sweet.
didn't know that. They didn't know. He didn't know that.
Thank you, Joe. Then back to you, Greg, for stars.
Star to Sabine for prompting this whole thing. And yeah, definite star to Steven at the end for, you're both being played as fools. I love it. It's gonna pay dividends majorly. I can't wait.
Awesome. Steven.
Yeah, I'm actually going to reflect that right back because, when we just had a few minutes of like, man, I really wanted to get a scene in with Giza. And then Greg, pulled in Giza. And I was like, oh, I want in that. I'm not going to interrupt. I'm not going to say that. And then Greg was like, and that's whenever, Abyssa comes in. I'm like, yes. Thank you.
That was pretty brilliant.
Yeah.
Good.
Mhm.
Any others, Steven?
I really like the scene down in the bar. I think I like that a lot. The differences, we saw all the Jedi Masters and we saw Ethan Nor and all that kind of stuff in the count. And then we see the seedy bar. I really liked seeing both of those.
Yeah. And Joe prompted that, so I really
Mhm.
appreciate getting to see those levels. That was nice. Thank you, Steven. Sabine.
Here. Yeah, stars to everyone, stars to you, Rich, for running this because it's amazing. I will hold back my told you so's. But it is really, really, it's really Hearts of Woolen and it's really Star Wars. So that's nice. And stars to all the other players, to the Wookiee Jedi. Is he a Jedi even? Who knows?
I don't even know.
And to Kalisa, who is maybe not a Jedi, and to Avessa, who definitely is a Jedi, like me. Well, not like me, she's a lot more straight-laced, I think. But yeah, stars to everyone, and stars to all the lightsabers and the pictures and the actors. I love that.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed myself. Thank you all for giving this a shot. It was a pretty wackadoodle pitch, and I feel like you guys are executing on it incredibly well. So thank you. I cannot wait until next week when we continue the saga of the Hearts of the Force. Kind of like it's like the Masked Avengers thing as well, but you're not wearing masks, so you're not really avenging anything. So just, Hearts of the Force. Thank you all, and have a good afternoon.